I'd like to call this December 16th regular board meeting of the Medina City Schools Board of Education to order. This is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public comment during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Chambers, would you please call roll when you're ready?
Mr. Nichols?
Here.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Here.
Ms. Pritchard?
Here.
Ms. Moyer?
Here.
Mr. West?
Here.
Thank you.
First up is item B, approval of the minutes from the rescheduled regular meeting of November the 13th. I would entertain a motion on those.
I'll make a motion to approve those meeting minutes, B1.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any questions or comments from anybody on the rescheduled regular board meeting minutes from November the 13th? Hearing none, Mr. Chambers, please.
Mr. Nichols?
Aye.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up, are there any additions, removals, modifications to tonight's agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments from anybody? Hearing none, Mr. Chambers, please, when you're ready.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Mr. Nichols?
Aye.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Thank you.
First up, items for information and discussion. Superintendent's communications. Mr. Sable, it's your floor.
Thank you. And I'm going to shake up my portion of the agenda here a little bit. I love seeing all the visitors at our board meetings, and I'm half tempted to keep you all meeting and move these sections to the end, but I know I would have a lot of students and staff back there that probably would not be so happy with me. But we do have some great things on tonight's agenda. I want to start off by recognizing Coach Hass. I want to invite Elisa Tadona and her team up. As they're coming up, I do want to say a few words about Coach Hassinger. I know he's an outstanding and renowned coach, basketball coach in our district, but come on up, Hass. And this season already, in the early parts of the season, has already earned quite a record and an honor. But my work as superintendent with Coach Hass has really gone way beyond coaching basketball. And what I've seen in Coach Hass is what he is as a person and the care he has for kids. The coaching goes way beyond the court. The coaching goes way beyond his athletes. It goes into the houses of our students that need support the most to help them be successful people here at Medina City Schools and beyond. So it's no surprise when we see a coach like Hass be this successful on the court, when we see the success that he portrays to students across our districts in the community. Elisa, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for having us here to recognize Coach Hass. So outside of Coach Hass's office, there's a sign that says Relationships, Academics, Basketball. And I believe that that's in a particular order on purpose. Although he would probably prefer to be honored for the first two, we are proud to get together and congratulate him today on his major accomplishment for basketball. Now we're going to talk about those other two things. Chris's motto is life is about relationships. This is why he's so successful. He builds relationships with everyone and instills that lesson with all of his athletes, and we know that his reach in the Medina community reaches so much farther than the court and definitely outside of the classroom.
When you ask people what words come to mind when you think of Chris Hassinger, you get responses like big. Everything is big. Personality, number of wins, how much he gives you. Machine, he doesn't stop. He can't sit down for long. He is obsessed with making kids better, with helping them succeed. Committed, he takes pride in how hard he works, never looks for acknowledgement, and just keeps working harder.
Congratulations, Coach Hass, for becoming the all-time winningest coach in Medina High School boys basketball history with 171 victories following your win over Shaker Heights on December 5th, which Ann and I were lucky enough to be there for. More importantly, thank you for being a pivotal part of our community where you are leaving a legacy that makes those around you even better. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to our basketball team and hand it over to Luke to offer his congratulations on behalf of the team.
Congratulations, Coach Hass, on becoming the all-time winningest coach in Medina High School history. Every day you push us to value relationships, serve others, and leave a legacy. Your high expectations, drive, and commitment to Medina is unmatched. Thank you for making us better people and better players. We truly appreciate everything you do.
Say something? I like the microphone. First of all, thanks for coming, guys, and family and friends and everybody else. I appreciate it. It's kind of crazy. There's just a lot of people to thank, and I don't care about records. I actually didn't even know it was going to happen this game. It's kind of insane. I saw my friend from Maryland, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" He said, "It's the game." Like I seriously didn't know. And there's just so much more to basketball. Yes, I'm competitive, I'm crazy, I'm intense. But if you know anything about our program, we serve. Our kids are out buying Christmas gifts. Those are the things we're proud about in our program. And, as we talk about it all the time, it's just the other things. Yes, basketball teaches you life lessons, which are really, really cool. And our word for this year is chaos. Your life is going to be chaotic. And you have to find ways to navigate through that. And we try to do that as coaches as much as we can. Make as many things with chaos, but have those little successes along the way. And this year's group especially has been so much fun to coach, and I'm kind of glad I got to share it with you guys this year. So I appreciate you guys, appreciate the support from the community, from our administration. It's just nice when you can come in and coach and don't have to worry about the little things. So the support really means a lot. Thank you. Oh, and thank you to my wife and my kids, because I'm not always the best person to live with during basketball season. So my wife really especially, she's been just an awesome support over all the years I've been coaching. Thank you.
Now, as much as I'd like to keep the whole basketball team here tonight, you all are welcome to sneak out the back. I would invite you across the hall to grab a cupcake on your way out, as we honor a couple board members this evening as well. I was thinking the same thing. Thank you. At this time, our school presentation is from Claggett. And I'd like to invite Principal Condit and his team up to the front to talk about the great things happening over at Claggett Middle School.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We are excited to be at the board meeting tonight to kind of present some of the learning that's been going on in our 6th grade math program. Over the summer, our teachers had the opportunity to participate in a PBL training session, PD, which is project-based learning. And our math teachers in the 6th grade really did embrace this learning concept for our students in order to kind of make learning come alive and bring it to life so that they were able to make connections of why math is really important for our students. Because sometimes students don't always see how math can make a connection to their real life. So our 6th grade team has embraced the PBL learning, and one of the first units they did was with geometry. And I'm excited here to have our 3 6th grade math teachers, Mrs. Medvick, Mrs. Halley, and Mr. Ritterer, along with some of the students from their classes to kind of share their experiences about their first unit that they did. So I'm going to turn it over to our 6th grade teachers, who then will also have the students jump in.
So we jumped right in this year with our project-based learning with our first unit, which is on area and surface area. And our driving question that we presented to our students was, how can we redesign a takeout container using area and surface area? We wanted to choose a project that really helped our students with something that they typically struggle with, which is transferring their knowledge of finding area of polygons in 2 dimensions to finding surface area of shapes in 3 dimensions.
So to give a quick overview of what this project entailed, we presented students with takeout containers from local businesses on the square before they had learned any math from us whatsoever. They were able to brainstorm, come up with ideas, and then as they learned the standards, they went back, revised, critiqued each other's, and perfected it. Some of the products that they created were a infographic that they were able to peer review that served as some notes on what they had learned. They created a takeout container kind of rough draft on a grid to find the surface area of their container they created. They were actually able to create a 3D prototype, and then their final project was a quick video that they shared all of their findings in one place, and we actually have an example of one of those videos for you next.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I'm Allison. I'm Catherine. And I'm Chris. And we chose Courthouse Pizza for our project because we wanted it to be easier for other people to carry around one slice of pizza instead of having to buy one whole pizza. We chose a triangular prism for this project because we thought it was the perfect shape to fit one singular pizza in it. It's a 12 by 7 by 1, and we knew to divide the triangles by 2.
The way we added up all the area was by adding up every single side, and we got the surface area of 102 square centimeters.
What we liked about the project. We liked working in a group to get more ideas and combining our ideas together. Having choices like which restaurant to pick, how big to make the box, and what food item would go in the box.
What we learned during the project. Help us remember the formula to find area of each shape.
How area and surface area relate, and how to communicate better and work as a team.
What we liked about the project was being creative, having a choice. What we learned during the project, we learned how to use Canva and to design a logo. We got better at finding area of polygons.
Hi, my name's Ellie. My name's Tegan. And my name is Lily. This is our box. This is how it opens, and this is how it shuts. We designed this box because we thought we could improve it in a fun way. The area of our rectangular prism is 175 square inches. The surface area is 225 square inches. We found the area by finding the areas of every face and adding them all together. This is our net.
What we liked about the project. We had a choice in which container to redesign. We were able to choose what improvements to make.
What we learned during the project. How
to collaborate better.
And how to find surface area.
So our project was able to incorporate several of the Portrait of a Bee competencies, such as character, interactions with others, and thinking and learning. When we were creating this project, we kept the gold standard of PBL in mind. This allowed our students to have an opportunity to demonstrate authenticity, have student voice and choice, be able to have reflections, and then critique and make revisions to their projects throughout the entire unit. If you have any questions about any of the projects, we will be happy to answer them, but that's all we have for you.
I really liked the pizza package because sometimes they give you a giant box for this small slice of pizza. So who here did that pizza? They were in the video. There was a group that did the pizza package. Okay, nice work. I like that. That's a great idea. I think someone should do that for mass production.
I just, I want a little bit of a story. I was recently visiting family in South Carolina, and my sister has a 5th grader and a 2nd grader, and she was telling me all about how they're starting PBL in South Carolina. And I was like, from what I know is we've been doing it for a while, and I go, yeah, you guys are kind of behind the times. But, you know, I see this and I see how it gets the kids interested and let them direct they're still getting what they need to know and learn, but they're doing it in their own way and making it fun and interesting. So it's nice to see that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, just this past week, I was meeting with one of our administrators in the district, and they were talking about how they're working with their staffing, having conversations, and we've had a lot of deep learning going on in the school district. They were talking about how they talk with their staff, the difference between deep learning and deeper learning. Matt, that might have been you. Yeah, it was. And, you know, I think this is a good example of that deeper learning, the outreach and the collaboration with community businesses and the true application of the learning that's happening. And I'd encourage you, I don't know which pizza place you're working with, but reach out to them and share your idea, because I know we've had other deeper learning projects in the district where businesses have actually implemented some of those ideas. That'd be a great follow-up. I appreciate you all coming tonight, a large group. I love the Christmas sweaters, especially the Snoopy, the Charlie Brown. I just watched that this past weekend. I wish you all a happy holiday, and thank you for coming tonight. And again, I'd love for you guys to stay, but I know you might want to sneak out. You're welcome to see if the basketball team left you any cupcakes. So next up, I just wanted to discuss with the board upcoming meetings for January. This time of year, we're a little bit off of a formal schedule as we'll be prepping for January for the upcoming calendar year. The board schedule doesn't necessarily follow the school year that we refer to. So I'm gonna look to Vicki and Aaron as well as we talk about these dates, our incoming board members. But we are looking at an organizational meeting and a tax budget hearing on Tuesday, January 13th. At that meeting is when we will swear in our newly elected board members, as well as conduct business such as setting dates for the upcoming school year, as well as the government mandated tax budget hearing that has to happen each year in January. In addition to that, I'd like to hold the regular January meeting. So we'd essentially be having 3 meetings on January 13th, where we go over regular business as well. When Dave and I talked, we thought it might be easier rather than scheduling another night to do it all in a single night. The second meeting that I wanted to share with the board is on Thursday, January 29th. I'd like to schedule a work session for the Board of Education. That would be here at Garfield. It would be an official board meeting, but we would actually be doing work rather than sitting around this table. And the work we'd be doing is surrounding our strategic planning process. We do have information back from all of the surveys and the focus groups that were conducted over the course of the first half of this school year, and we'd like to spend some time, we were thinking at 4 o'clock, so not at the regular time, to work with the impact group to dig into that data that we received as part of the strategic planning process, as well as to share and discuss potential goals. My goal is to present a finalized strategic plan for adoption to the board in February. We would also be looking to release all of that information to the community as well as to our staff following that board work session. I want to make sure the board has an opportunity to dig in as a group before we go out and release that, and I'm guessing that will be available through our website through links when it is available. So if nobody has any conflicts or opposition to those dates, we'll go ahead and set those dates. We don't need to take any action. Dave will send out the required notification, as always, for both those meetings. I mixed up the whole agenda. Now I'm looking at what else I need to go over. Let's go to 6 first, and then we'll go to 5. Chris, when you come up, you can talk about the preschool and also give the policy update.
It's all good. Okay, I'm here to present to the board for approval the naming of Helping Hands Preschool Library as the Bridget Dade Library. In October of 2025, a group gathered to discuss the naming of part of the preschool based on a letter sent from Jenny Kelly Maslowski, who was a Helping Hands preschool speech pathologist. The committee consisted of Andrew West, board member, Heather Mix, administrator, myself, Krista Goins, a parent, community member, and Minden Alda preschool teacher. I just want to share a few words from the write-up that was sent to me from Jenny Kelly Maslowski. I'm writing to express my deepest gratitude to the Medina City School District for hiring the late Bridget Dade in 1992. As an early childhood intervention specialist, Bridget Dade began her tenure with Helping Hands, and almost from the very beginning, she provided special ed services to Medina's youngest bees, preschoolers aged 3 to 6. Bridget's dedication and passion were instrumental in growing this program. It seems natural and right that some part of Helping Hands Preschool should be named in honor of Mrs. Dade. With her mentoring and inspiration, I myself grew as a speech-language pathologist. She welcomed me into her classroom, encouraged collaboration with staff and parents, created curricular language activities long before it was mandated to do so, and recognized the ability rather than the disability in each of her students. In Mrs. Dade's classroom library, children discovered firsthand that books could help you cook vegetable soup, starting with stones, milk a purple cow, and even grow beanstalks to reach the ceiling. She made them feel as though anything was possible. Upon her retirement from Medina City Schools in 2011, our Northrop staff shared phrases that describe Bridget as passionate and loving, insightful and intuitive, an advocate for all, spunky and determined, and small but mighty. The small but mighty is important because Bridget was 4 foot 9 inches and was not to be underestimated. Bridget had a big heart, a whole body smile, a calming demeanor, and patience that knew no limits, which made her a superb educator. One Halloween, she dressed as the fairy godmother from Cinderella, and she made that day magical. Wishes, small and large, were asked of her, and with a flick of her wand, we all believed they were granted. What's most important in all of this was for as long as she taught at Helping Hands, she was our own fairy godmother every day, and she envisioned a center entirely designated to nurture the youngest students. I believe her legacy is part of the magic that enabled that dream to be realized. So I wanted to read that part because I think Bridget had a huge impact on a lot of people that knew her, but also that her dream was to have a building like Helping Hands. So I present to the board for approval naming the library after Bridget Dade. And I know, Andrew, thank you to you and the committee that was available to meet and discuss this.
Yeah, when I was in there, I was amazed that everybody spoke really highly of her, and you could just tell from even the few pictures that she was definitely very invested in our youngest bees, and everybody spoke very passionately about her passion for literacy and books. And I saw the picture with her fairy godmother hat and stuff. It was kind of cute. So it was my pleasure.
Then policy committee update. Perfect. So you'll have a number of policies on for first reading today. A lot of them are legally required. There's a number of them that are in a transportation section that have a lot to do with, again, legal requirements. They're nothing that we had choices, even as the policy committee, as Becky and Amy can share. They're just things we required. So nothing with a lot of choices for the district or anything to present in terms of questions or things that we could tell you that pick this or that. It was just a lot of legal updates from a variety of different House bills in terms of testing that's required, plans we have to put into place. As I look through all these, was really a lot of the options available. So that's what I got for you tonight.
I'm going to take the trip to the podium to recognize our two outgoing Board of Education members, and Joe Nichols and Becky Parkhurst. First, I want to say a few words in honoring Joe. Well, I actually want to start by honoring Joe's wife, Leah. I want to thank Leah for supporting Joe in this endeavor as a board member and making sure that he's in attendance at each of the monthly meetings as well as the committee meetings. Of course, I'm joking, but I did want to recognize Leah because I've been in the district for 10 years, and especially Dave and I really get to know the board members and develop relationships, and it's not often that same thing happens with their spouses. And what I've seen in working with Joe over the last 4 years is him and Leah are truly a team. And during a period of time when we were having financial difficulties in the district and working through the levy, Joe was able to wrangle, whether I think Leah wanted to or not, onto our committees to help guide us because she does have a background and expertise in those kinds of things. I think it's that laid back attitude and mentality that Joe really brought personality to our Board of Education. We've definitely faced some difficult situations over the last 4 years, including repeated levy failures until we finally saw success last November, as well as the timing that Joe came onto the board right off the heels of COVID, when it was a difficult time to even want to be a board member with what was going on. And Joe's willingness to take on that leadership and bring perspective to the board as we work through difficult issues has really been vital. One of the key memories I have with Joe's work on the board was when we were making difficult levy decisions. And I think it was actually the last decision that the board made about what to put on the ballot. What millage to put on the ballot, whether it should be an emergency. And I just remember Joe stepping up in that situation in order to bring some levity to the conversation because there wasn't agreement across the board, as there's not always. But the ability to have that conversation to move things forward and ultimately to a successful levy campaign, which is best for our kids, is vital. And the other memory I have is Joe was before he was even a board member. And this doesn't always happen, but I remember Joe reaching out to Dave and I I'm not sure if you had your signatures in or not, and you were looking for us to scare you away. But he wanted to meet with us and talk about what it meant to be a board member and what was going on in the district and have a knowledge of our district, I think, before really completely stepping into that ring. And then his philosophy, which he's repeatedly told me throughout the years, is allowing us as administrators and teachers and employees to really run and operate and lead the district. And you definitely, in my opinion, lived by that over the years. So I'm going to make you make the podium walk because we do have something for you. And Becky Parkhurst, what do I say about Becky Parkhurst, other than she likes to have the last word when we're going around the table? Yeah, this one's actually hard for me. I came to the district 10 years ago, and Becky is the last board member to survive my tenure as superintendent in the district. So she was one of the board members who made that decision, which was a life-changing and one of the best decisions in my life to be a part of this school district. So I want to start by thanking you for being a part of that group. Becky Parkhurst also came to the school district during a very difficult time, a difficult time that predated me. And was part of a board that was really looking at transforming the culture of the school district, as well as the perception of the school district within the community after some challenging times. Again, a very tough job to do because our community lets us know what they expect of our schools. They weren't happy with what was happening with the schools. So then to be able to come in as a change agent, and that change did occur, was vitally important, and it set us up for where we are today. Becky's tenure, and I'm impressed that it has been a tenure, has been riddled with challenges. 2 levy campaigns. The first levy campaign, I think, was the second year I was in the district, and it was the transition of a levy that was ending to a permanent levy, which we were fortunate to get through on our first ask to the community. That was followed up by COVID, and we went through the COVID experience for, I would say, almost a 3-year period. And talking about a challenge, that was definitely one of the most challenging, if not the most challenging moment in my career. And to manage that as a board member and be the person boots on the ground in the community where you're having the personal interaction with such stark views of how things should be handled with our children and their schooling during such a difficult time. And then being part of the transition out of that COVID period. Again, a situation of reestablishing trust with the community, bringing people back together in a common direction. Following that up by a second levy campaign, which was much more challenging, as I talked about when discussing Joe, and being actively engaged and involved in working with the community, whether it's dressing up like the buzzing bee, which I was really hoping you were going to show up tonight with the glasses and the shoes. I talked to Amy, and we might have to talk to you about retiring those and putting those in a glass case somewhere, unless, of course, you're willing to come back and continue to be the bee moving forward. Becky, your input and feedback has been vitally important to the district. You leave quite a legacy in where we've come over the course of the last 10 years. We have a lot to be proud of as a school district. The instruction and curriculum that we offer, I truly believe, is beyond what you see in other districts. I just had a teacher come to me a week or two ago, and their children attend another school district, and asked, can my children come to Medina because we're doing so many more great things and innovative things that they're not seeing in their home district. And yes, it's a lot of work in the district, but it's also the support, the discussion, the involvement on committees with the Board of Education in order to put those things in place, have the difficult conversations. That's another piece I've always appreciated, and whether you see it at a board meeting or behind the scenes, the willingness to have those difficult conversations. You don't always agree with Becky. Becky makes sure she knows what she's thinking, but it's always moving forward together as a team and in the best interest of students and staff in the school district. And then the last piece I have is, Becky, I want you to know that you've really been a mentor to me. As a first-time superintendent coming into the district 10 years ago, learning how to work with Board of Education members who have very different views, who are all passionate about our school district, about the community, about the kids in the school district, and working to have a collaborative approach to what's best for our school district, not always having to agree, but have the conversations that help hone us in the appropriate direction for our kids. So I thank you for your service for, is it 10 or 11? It might be 11.
10 and a half.
10 and a half. I knew it was before me, for your 10 and a half years of service to our Board of Education. And I'm going to make you make the podium walk too.
Mr. Chambers, your items for information and the Finance Committee.
The Finance Committee met last month. We discussed legislation that would affect the school district, namely, I believe, House Bill 129, House Bill 335 would affect us the most. The latter one would be looking at inside millage reduction. Inside millage is unvoted by the taxpayers, but it's a portion that we get of 10 mills that the entire taxing district receives. So if that is reduced, then we will see losses of taxes to the district itself. So that was the general issue with the Finance Committee. Now, going on to the financials for November, I'd like to point out that that this is our last financials for the year. We are not yet at the halfway point because December's not over with. That'll be shown to the new board here come January. We have our financial overview. We always start with the beginning. The beginning is $41 million. That was back on July 1st of this year. Revenues for the year so far, $47 million. Expenditures, $39 million. Ending balance as of September 25, that should say November 25, I'm sorry. Ending balance as of November 25, $45 million. This is $5,500,000 below the October ending balance. We have revenues for the year, $47 million as stated. This is 45% of our 5-year forecast. The reason is we're in the second half of the year. Usually your taxpayers that pay directly either pay their full year up front, which is January to June, or businesses pay full years up front. So that's why we're only at 45%. I looked up last year at this time, we were at 46.1%. So we're very close to where we were last year. Real property taxes, $30,700,000. This is 17% year over year, and as you know, it's due to the levy that was voted in November of '24. And then state foundation is at $8 million. This is 6.3% year over year, and this does include the casino revenue, and it will be adjusted as we move forward, especially January to June. The state takes into account student numbers, then they also take out students going to other entities, let's put it that way, other entities. They also look at their budget itself and how to realign foundation numbers for the schools. Our expenditures, total expenditures for the month as stated, $39 million. This is at 40.5%. This is actually running a little lower than if you take our 5 months divided by 12, it should be around, I believe it's 41.5, 41.7, so we're running below our anticipated 5-year forecast. Personnel services, $23 million. This is 3.5% above last year at this time. However, we are running below the 11 pays divided by the 26 pays. We're running below that percentage. So we're looking good with personnel. Benefits, however, are up 13.6%. Again, we had premium increases in double digits here in July. So this is running below the premium increase that occurred, but we're still up. And looking at the benefits, we're running approximately where the 5-year forecast is showing us. Now, our all other expenditures, purchase service supplies and capital, are at $6 million, and this is up from last year. I didn't take a percentage on how far up because it depends on what purchase services are being purchased at the time. Supplies are up a little bit, and that's because we made significant purchases here with supplies and tech supplies and everything else. So that's up a little bit. And if you look at our capital, if you looked at our financials that were provided, our capital is way down. I believe we might have just hit $1 million for the year. And if you think about it, $1 million in capital expenditures for a district that has over 1 million square feet of roof space is not very much right now. Next slide, our investment income. I'm always impressed with the investment income that we are bringing to taxpayers here. We're at above $1 million right now. This is roughly $238,000 above where we were last year. Again, it's based on your market values, market rates. So I'm not impressed with how I'm doing, but I'm impressed with how the market's doing. So we get to our true days cash. If you look here, the current bar is the blue bar. You could see we're below where we were 2 years ago. If we were working under normal legislation, I would say this is this would be not alarming, but this would be something that we have to watch. Since we're working under different legislation, or going to be working under different legislation come January, February, March, whenever the new legislation goes into effect, you will see in the next 3 to 4 years that low point in January, which was the low point that we had before the election, the emergency levy came in, you will see we will probably be either halfway down that bar or more than halfway down that bar come 3 or 4 years from now, because the legislators are still talking about having a cap on carryover balance. The legislators are still talking about new legislation that they're intending to put in for school districts as far as finances. So I don't see us getting back to having large balances like we did with the substitute levy coming in. I don't see that occurring. We do have our cycles. You could see our cycles here on a yearly basis, and you could see our cycles as the levies move on from year to year. We do have our cycles. What will be happening, though, is we'll be going more into that balance as we look forward with new legislation. So, and then finally, everything you see is on our website. We update it after every board meeting, so anything that goes to the board is going on our website. Any questions?
Yeah, just one quick one. You mentioned on the inside millage, I think you said 335. It's going to go down. Do we have a sense yet about how much we're going to lose from this legislation?
Well, I got notification today from our county auditor, because that was a question we were having, is when does this go into effect? And that will not, according to the county at this point, that will not go into effect until the update of 28-29. So that will be the first time that we will be losing inside millage itself. But that's, again, that's the information that he is receiving right now. So it could change.
So that could change tomorrow?
It could change.
Okay.
But this is what we're being told at this point.
Understood.
So.
Mr. Chambers, has the governor signed those?
I believe the governor has not signed, well, no, I'm sorry. I believe the governor has signed one of the 4 bills that were presented to him. I'm not sure about the other 3 as of yet.
Okay, thank you.
So, but that's,
But also, I believe that if he doesn't sign, they have 10 days to go into effect
10
anyways.
days, and they'll go into, yes. So he either has to sign or veto within the 10 days for those to go into effect either quicker, or without it, they default into effect. Correct. Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, we're up at board communications, and we're going to save Mr. Nichols and Mrs. Parkhurst for last, but we're going to start with Miss Pritchard. You're up.
Medina County Career Center Student of the Month was Hayden Fortledge. She's in sports medicine and exercise science. Medina Students of the Month were Hudson Karras and Jillian Ruppel. Lainey Miller, a junior, was a featured soloist with the Cleveland Contemporary Youth Orchestra at Mallet Center. I was lucky enough, along with Mr. West, to have dinner, the holiday dinner with a Medina student and I at the Career Center with a meal prepared by their chef and restaurant program of Samantha Boyd and her parents. This is an honors dinner. Samantha plans to become a mechanical engineer, and right now she's planning on attending Akron University. I attended, right after the board meeting in November, attended Peter and the Star Catcher. Very good show. Had a big cast, and students had great performances. Monday, I think December 6th, I attended the Canavan Bell Choir concert. And Mr. Brinker, as always, continues to work his magic. This was hobbling around on a cane. I attended part of the Root Orchestra concert and then hobbled down to the PAC to see the Claggett Choir concert last Tuesday. Got to watch Claggett girls 7th grade basketball team play Brunswick on Thursday. And then Saturday, I caught the JV girls basketball team defeat Strongsville. And Also, just wanted to say that the varsity wrestling team won the invitational. I think it's called the Celtic Invitational. I think that's the second time they've won it. Today I spent part of the morning in Mrs. Volgas's contemporary world issues class as the kids talked about issues involving, there were different groups, talked about Somalia, Nigeria, and Venezuela. The kids had some really interesting takes on some different things, but very informational. The kids did a really great job, all spoke up. And then in November, 3 of us and the new board members attended OSBA conference, and there were some really good sessions, and particularly like on AI, and then one that I attended, Ohio Excels, Jobs of the Future. So those were basically the things that happened. So that's it. Thank you.
Mrs. Smoyer.
All right. Just like Ms. Pritchard said, we did the OSBA conference. It was really nice to go there and learn a lot of new things. I couldn't tell you the specifics of everything that we went to, but we were offered many different classes to go to, which was really nice to learn more about being a board member and what we have to, what we can do with that. Otherwise, went to the policy committee, and yes, there are quite a few policies that we went through. Looking forward to having Ms. Drewley on the policy committee next year, so she's looking forward to it. So yay! Otherwise, I've been super busy, so I haven't been able to get to many things, but I was able to watch the band holiday concert on Medina TV, and I want to let everybody know that you can see a lot of our concerts on Medina TV. You don't have to go out in the snow and to see them. They are very well televised. And also along that, because of course I have to do my band thing, they will be performing at Severance Hall in January. I don't know the specific date. I think it's January 6th, but don't quote me on that one. But that is a big, big deal. So hopefully, I've been told, Mr. Sable, they would love for you to go to that. So Severance Hall, I will get you the date. And I will probably be there as well. Thank you.
All right, I am going to leave Mr. Nichols and Miss Parkhurst for last. Yes, Miss Parkhurst will be last.
It's not that I have to have the last word.
I know, but we know you
Well,
like
it just
it.
takes me a while
It's
to
okay.
form my thoughts.
So I'm going to use my time to say some thanks to our outgoing board members. Mr. Nichols, I am going to miss you on this board. You're pretty even-keeled, kind of low-key, and I like it. Very passionate about the schools. With everything that's been going on in legislation, you have been very pushy with it, which I appreciate, and I'm going to miss that, and I will miss your, I will miss you on the board. And maybe someday you can come back. There's nothing that ever says you can't come back, as long as your wife says it's okay. I came on the board at the same time you did, a little bit differently than you. I was finishing out a 2-year term for a board member that resigned, but we came on at the same time, and during the challenges of COVID, or the coming out of COVID and whatnot, and I think we all rose to the occasion. And I hadn't thought of this until Mr. Sable mentioned it earlier, but I guess my fondest memory of you is when we were talking about the emergency levy, and you did step up and made a point, and the board ran with it. So I appreciate that very much, and I am going to miss that perspective. But you can always come back someday. Mrs. Parkhurst, I have known you for a very long time, well before the school board, when our boys were running cross country, and it's your fault that I'm sitting here because I offhandedly made a few comments while we were watching our sons run cross country, and I was taking pictures. Oh, I should run for the school board. And then one afternoon, for almost 4.5 years ago, you're like, hey, you need to run for the school board. I'm like, okay. So I went and pulled a petition and for a 2-year term to fill out it. And that's why I'm here. So it's all because of you. So it's your fault.
You're welcome.
Thank you, I think. But I am going to miss your counsel, your even-keeledness, spending many hours on the phone and updating me when I first got on the board and me asking all kinds of questions and going off on tangents, and you were always very gracious with your time, and I appreciate that, and I'm going to miss that counsel and that person to bounce stuff off of or ask questions of very much, even though it's your fault that I'm here. But I plan on staying for a while. So thank you very much. And you can always come back too if you want, someday. But you have earned a break. And I will miss you on this board. So, Mr. Nichols, for the last time, any comments, please?
Oh, sure. I got tons of comments. How much time do we have?
How much time do you want?
I think you're limited to 3 minutes.
3
for
minutes.
for board comments.
Okay.
It is in policy.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Would you like the clock up?
No, I'm good. I think I can get close to 3 minutes. Well, Mr. West, I know your email. I know your board email. Me and Becky both know it. So, and we have your cell phone. Yeah. So, don't worry. If we have a problem, we can always let you know. Becky, we should have had graduation hats so we could throw it at the end of the meeting. Yeah. We'll throw our little plaques. But anyways, getting into it. So this whole journey started long before I even decided to run for Medina. I had a weird interaction at Buckeye when I was coaching there with a board member, and I said, why are they acting this way? I can do that job better. And I was passionate about education from the get-go. I thought that the system that I had went through was weirdly designed and flawed, and the fact that my dad had the same lessons almost that I had when he went in the 80s was very weird to me, and that it was taught all the same as when I went to high school in 2004, 2005, around there. So all of those things led me to be like, all right, I want to run. At some point, I don't know when, well, come along, I'm 30 years old, we are coming out of COVID, and I was like, oh, I think now is the time to run. And actually somebody approached Leah and said, so what's your husband doing? Does he want to run for school board? I was like, yeah, sure. We'll dive into it and give it a go. So I messaged a school board member that I knew from a different district. Then I got Becky's information, talked to Becky. Becky, once again, pulled me into it. Not necessarily, I was already there, but, and then I had talked to Aaron and Dave and just wanted to see what their track of the district was, and did it line up with where my vision was. If it did, cool, we can make this work. If not, I'm not going to get on the board to spend every single day fighting the direction the district is going versus where I think it should be going. That felt like a waste of energy for everyone. And then election night came, and I got a call from Sarah, I think, and I missed the call. And I called her back, and I left probably the greatest voicemail after an election I have ever left in my life, or anybody has ever left. And she called me back and said, okay, I'm going to ask you questions now. And I said, can you just check your email or your voicemail, please, because that is way better than anything I'm going to be able to give you. And she didn't take that. So that's my bone to pick with you. But some of the things that I'm very proud of that we did as a board is things that I had just campaigned on and I had talked about, moving education forward within the district, trying to use as close to cutting edge information and science and studies to make sure our students were getting the best possible education that you can offer at high school in America right now. And I think we tried our best and pretty much succeeded at that. I mean, one of the things that was big implementation that me and Becky were a part of on curriculum was the CKLA program. That ended up becoming a state requirement. We were ahead of it. We were there before they even forced us. The CEO program was another awesome thing that gave kids opportunities different than anything that I had had in school. Expanding the capstone projects, I know we don't have them completely expanded out, but every year it seems like we're adding more grades onto it. That's amazing for ingraining that information that they've learned throughout the year and really nailing it home. And then leading the AI conversation. I know Craig is now, 4 months behind where you wanted it, but, we got to ease into it. That's okay. But being a leader in what does that look like? What does an AI-based environment look like? How do we deal with it? How do we make sure kids aren't using it to cheat? And how do we make sure we're using it in the most efficient ways? And other various little technology things that we had talked about and we had pushed through that just makes the district genuinely function more efficiently and better. All those things I walk through the door wanting to do, and I'm leaving with them already done. I'm also happy leaving with the thought that we don't have really any lingering decisions that, we went, we'll do that next year. We'll do that 3 years from now, right? And I understand that, COVID was definitely a thing there, but there were some decisions that I feel like we tackled at the beginning that had been even before COVID. And I'm glad that, we're handing it over to the school board members-elect, and they don't have to deal with things that are necessarily unfinished from me and Becky. I want to mention to the new board members, since you guys are here, it's very simple. It's not that hard. Just advocate for students. That's the biggest thing that you can do. Just advocate for students and push for what you think is right. And if it doesn't go your way, that's okay. You can still push for it, but it might not always go your way, and that's fine. But as long as it is the right decision in your mind, run with it. Maybe you get more information and ends up changing your mind. So just advocate. That's the biggest thing. And then for what the board is going to be after me and Becky are out of here tonight, keep in mind, you guys you're a board of 5. You're not a singular person. Decisions will come down. I know that the 5-0 is beautiful and everybody loves a good 5-0, but in my opinion, it's a PR move. One of the things that we were told we should never do was have a split vote on a levy, and that's the one we passed. So it's a good representation of the community as a whole, but just keep in mind that 5-0 doesn't always have to be the thing, even when it looks really good. If that's not the way that you guys feel, you don't have to. And also, for the whole board, don't let, passion or frustrations or vendettas or egos or whatever get in the way of just doing what's right for the kids. No matter what, that's the main reason why we're here. Ron Ross said that's the first question that he asked. Like, is it good for the kids? And then everything else gets asked, right? So I encourage you to keep doing that, and hold the officials accountable. That also goes for the community more so. Reach out to them. Let them know that they're doing it wrong. And for the community, if you don't like what they're doing and it's more expensive, there is a way to fix that. You can primary them. You can vote them out. There's more than enough answers there in order to make that tax bill at the state level look a lot better. But don't give them a pass, no matter what. And I encourage the district, and I know we do a bunch of things with legislation, don't give them a pass. That's all I can ask. Finally, thanks to everyone. Thanks to all of my fellow board members, Mr. Sable, Mr. Chambers, administration, the guy behind the camera. I see you, not literally, but you see me all the time. You let me know that when I saw you once at a FEN function. So I see you. But thank you so much for these 4 years. And it was awesome to represent the community at this level and make sure your voice is heard. And finally, thanks to my family, because I did a Medina TV interview at the beginning of all this, and early voting was on our wedding day. And I said, thank you, I love you, hopefully everything is good by the time the votes are counted. So everything was good after that. Maybe it was a good luck charm, maybe not, but I'll still give you an I love you, Leah. Thanks.
Thank you, Joe. Mrs. Parkhurst, you're up.
Thank you. I did prepare just something small. So, it has been my profound honor and privilege to serve as a member of the Medina City Schools Board of Education. I am very appreciative of the community for trusting me to represent them on this board for this long. I never imagined that when I first joined the board in the summer of 2015 that I would serve for 10 and a half years. So to give some perspective, at that time, my children were in 5th and 7th grades, and they are now both young men in college. And I had the pleasure to serve with 12 different board members over that time. I also thought about running the numbers on the number of meetings and committee hours and hours spent reading policy, but it just was just too much to handle at the moment. And I thought, well, I could do a TED Talk sometime on what it's like to be a board member, and I can save it for that. I do want to share one thing that I learned. We have, as a district, a brilliant, compassionate, and passionate set of administrators, teachers, staff, our board members, our volunteers, our community partners, everyone that does so much to contribute to the education and well-being of our students and to our community at large. And I don't think enough of us realize that or appreciate that as parents or as community members or parents who don't have kids in the district anymore. So I need to make sure the community knows that. We have such a great district. As has been said tonight, we have done so much and we've gone so far, and there is so much work that goes behind the scenes from so many of our employees. And I'm just grateful to be a part of that, to get to have known these people and spent time with them. It truly has been a privilege, and I know we will continue to do wonderful and great things. And I'm not moving. I'm still going to be around. So whatever is ever needed for me, please reach out, because I am an advocate for public education. And having said that, I would be remiss if I did not mention that although public education is enshrined in our Ohio Constitution, as a community, we still need to fight and advocate for it. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank lastly, I wanted to thank my family, because it is not just me serving. We all have served together. And I want to thank everyone who helped make me a better board member and a better person. I didn't grow up in Medina, but I have lived here longer than any place in my life. And I am very proud to be a Bee. And one more thing, sorry, I know there's always one more thing, right? Always one more thing. I want to thank the board members, past and present, for sharing their time and service alongside me. Mr. West, thank you for your leadership this year as board president. You've done a fantastic job, and I have seen you have grown into the role. Thank you for your leadership and guidance. Thank you, Mr. Sable, for years of leadership and guidance. It was humbling to hear you say that I was a mentor to you, because there's been many times where I have felt that way towards you. You have a very calm demeanor. My calm demeanor does not come naturally. So there's many times I would think, what would Aaron do? So thank you for that. And again, thank you to all the administration, teachers, staff, and students for such a wonderful experience this last 10 and a half years, and I wish everyone a happy, safe holiday.
All right. Any public comment? Nope. We're going to pass right over that then. Treasurer's action items G. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you. Yes, if it please the board, item number 1, it's recommended the Board of Education approve the November 25 Treasurer Financial Report. Item number 2, supplemental to permanent appropriations. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the following supplemental to put the 25-26 permanent appropriations. You have 4 different supplementals here. The first is for the class of 26. They had a fundraiser and they needed to include the fundraiser on their budgets. You also have auxiliary service numbers here for last year. We've had the final expenditure report submitted, and these monies have to be returned to the state because the auxiliaries did not use these monies. Fund-to-fund, item number 3, fund-to-fund transfers. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following fund-to-fund transfers. You have 2 items here. The first is the emergency levy, monies going to the general fund. The emergency levy we set up just to collect the revenues and to pay for the county auditor and treasurer fees, and then we also set up this transfer. The transfer is to move all the rest of the monies into the general fund so that we don't create 300 additional accounts for the district. Also, as an aside, the state is moving in the way where they're getting rid of emergency levies, and so on our USAS manual, the 016 fund will no longer be used following, I believe it's next year. Then the second one is sales tax PI fund to the sales tax COPS fund. The sales tax PI fund is where all the sales tax money goes into. We have obligations to pay the COPS bonds for Waite and Northrop, and so in order to pay them, we have to pay them out of the bond account, which is the 002-9012 account, and so in order to reimburse that account and get it back to zero, we move the monies from the sales tax fund.
I would entertain a motion on Treasurer's action items G1, the Treasurer's financial report, G2, the supplemental to permanent appropriations, and G3, the fund-to-fund transfers.
I'll make a motion to approve action items G1 through 3.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from anybody? 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 Hearing none, Mr. Chambers, when you're ready.
Mr. Nichols.
Aye.
Ms. Parkhurst.
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Ms. Moyer.
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up, Superintendent action items 8. Mr. Sable, it's yours.
Number 1 is donations. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following donations to Medina City Schools. I do want to point out the many donations going to our speech and debate team. We have an outstanding speech and debate team that competes on the national level. So these funds are essential to help those students have that experience in representing our district across the country. I definitely want to point out retired teacher and speech and debate coach Scott Quaid, who continues to support the program, and this donation is just an example of that. Also want to point out the some of them fairly large donations from our student organizations. As we're in a season of giving, it's nice to see the giving back to our local community. These donations are all from the hard work of our students within those organizations in terms of raising and earning funds. Number 2 is the resolution for naming Helping Hands. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the resolution naming the Helping Hands Preschool Library to the Bridget Dade Library per Dr. Qualick's presentation. Number 3 is a resolution to sanction girls wrestling. It is recommended that the Board of Education sanction girls wrestling as a Medina High School varsity sport beginning the 25-26 school year. Not everybody may realize this, but we've had young women participating in our wrestling program for as long as I've been in the district. It's varied from year to year as to that level of participation. We are on a current upswing with our girls' participation in the program, as well as within that time period, the OHSAA has sanctioned girls wrestling as its own independent sport. Because of the ongoing participation we've had over the course of many years, as well as the OHSAA's recognition, it's my recommendation that now's the appropriate time to recognize them as official sport here within Medina City schools. And from talking to our middle schools, I think we really have a surge at the middle school level with that participation as well. Number 4, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the first reading of the following policies as presented by Dr. Kwolek. And number 5, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following overnight field trip in compliance with policy 2340. And this is for student council to do a leadership training in beautiful Belpre, Ohio in March. Number 6 is service agreements. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following service agreements. The first one is a new agreement called Gives Back. Gives Back is a piece of software that we will be training and presenting to all of our district organizations, things like PTOs, foundations, boosters. And it helps them to log and manage all of their finances and provides them with assistance in making sure they're meeting the necessary compliance, as well as giving us an easier avenue to assist and support them through that process. The second is hometown ticketing, and this is the company we've used for several years now for our ticketing services. Number 7 is a stipend payment. Is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following stipend payment to district teachers who have served as cooperating teachers for students attending universities. And number 8 is personnel. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the revised substitute and temporary substitute support staff rates effective with the new year. In addition, it's recommended that the board, that the support staff substitute incentive as presented be approved, and that's for the work period beginning November 1st, 2025. The last one that I would like to point out on personnel is, again, a very difficult one to present. It brings sadness and happiness all together. And I think I speak for our administrators that I'm looking out on right now. But Mr. Shields, Mayor-elect Shields, is presenting his resignation for purposes of retirement. Mr. Shields is going to be sworn in as the mayor of Medina City at the beginning of January, and legally he cannot serve in 2 public roles at once. I know Jim is not ready for retirement, or he wouldn't be taking on the role of mayor of Medina City, but in a situation where he has to make the transition, making the best decision that meets his needs as he moves over to mayor. I do want to say, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, but Jim, and he recently talked to me about this, but came to the district 25 years ago, and when he was brought into the district, we didn't have an HR department. Jim was brought in to set up and establish a human resources department in Medina City Schools, and then spent the last 25 years running, managing that department. Jim is going to be a huge loss to the school district. It amazes me the connections he has with every one of our staff members and the amount of people that he knows. And we're talking about over 800 staff members in the district. The effort that he puts in initially onboarding employees as they come through the system, I repeatedly hear. I sit down with every staff member before they're finally recommended to the board, and they always rave about how welcome they feel by Mr. Shields, as well as the Human Resources Department. In addition to that, Jim's role in the district has gone way beyond human resources. His interactions and his support of our students in the district is unmatched by any HR director that I've seen or worked with. Whether it's working on Kiwanis Christmas presents or just being a presence in helping students that have challenges or in need, or giving tours of City Hall and providing lessons, civics lessons to elementary and middle school students as they go through the district. I know across the district I've received many questions in terms of Jim leaving and how are we going to fill that hole. And the honest answer is, I think Jim leaves a hole that we can't necessarily just fill, but we can adjust and move forward and make sure that we're continuing to meet the needs of our staff through the HR department and through continued collaboration. Despite this being a sad move for the district, it's also a happy move. I'm personally very proud of Jim, and I think every one of our administrators would share the same thing. To step into such a limelight position where difficult decisions are going to have to be made on behalf of what's best, not just for 800 staff members within Medina City Schools, but the entire community, is admirable and quite a feat to take over. The happy piece of that is knowing that that is in the hands of somebody like Jim, who has a collaborative approach and truly wants best for people, and it has a care, passion, and love for Medina like nobody else I know.
All right, I will entertain a motion for superintendent's action items. H1, the donations. H2, the resolution on helping hands. H3, the resolution for the girls wrestling. H4, policies. H5, the field trip. H6, the service agreements. H7, the stipends. And H8, personnel.
I'll make a motion to approve superintendent's action item H 1 through 8.
Thank you, Ms. Pritchard.
I will second.
Thank you, Ms. Moyer. Any questions or comments from anybody?
Comment.
Go ahead.
I just want to say to Jim, he was, when I was student council advisor, he was senior class president. So he's running up one of the last ones that I probably had in school. There's a few left, a couple that were here in Garfield yet. But I think Jim's love of this district is unsurpassed, and we certainly saw that during the campaign. And I think it's something that he and I share, as well as we both being graduates of the school system. And the third thing that we shared is that we both took care of our mothers for a very long time, and I know that took a lot of his time. And I know Jim, just so you know, she'd be very proud of you, as would your dad. So thank you for all your dedication to the school system and to the people of Medina. I'm very proud of you being senior class president and back in the day, and I knew you'd be mayor eventually one day, so congratulations.
I just want to say that my first interaction, that's not the word, interaction, thank you, it was an with Jim was at Fenn, and he would always come over, and the kids knew him. All the kids knew him when he walked down the hallways, and he would always come to our kickball tournaments that we had, and he would be out there on the field kicking the ball with the kids and helping them out. So, you know, he was always involved with all the kids and still is to this day. So we appreciate you so much.
Anyone else?
Yes. I just want to echo what has been said about Mr. Shields. And one thing that's always impressed me with Jim is he knows a lot of kids too, and their names and their activities. And I know he helps out with McPal, and he was helping when my kids were involved in McPal and the big basketball tournament. I think Mr. Condit helped out with coaching them one year, and they just have a great time and just such a great role model for our students. And Jim, we are very, very, very proud of you. And I hope that you'll come back in May when we have the retirement May meeting, right, with retirement and cake. So we hope you come back for that.
Anybody else? That's it. Mr. Chambers, if you please.
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Ms. Moyer.
Aye.
Mr. Nichols.
Aye.
Ms. Parkhurst.
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
Last item, action item for superintendent action item I.
It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the revised athletic and PAC worker rate sheet effective January 1st, 2026. If you take a look at the rate sheet, several of the increases were required to do because the federal change in the minimum wage for January. While we're making that recommended adjustment, in addition, increasing rates to level the rates across the high school for the athletic positions.
I would entertain a motion for superintendent action item I, the personnel rates.
I'll make a motion to approve this action item.
Thank you. Do I have a
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from anybody?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I asked this to be pulled from the main part because we just approved the clock, the announcer, the book, moving up to $13 because the ticket sellers were getting closer and closer. And those three jobs, clock, announcer, and book, are you have to pay attention every play that goes on down on the floor. And I'm not saying the ticket sellers and everything don't have to pay attention, but their job is certainly a lot easier. And I know the thing is, well, we can't get ticket sellers. Well, we just approved 3 more athletic people tonight to do work. When I talked to the people that were selling tickets the other day, there are 15 people on the list, and the problem is nobody wants to work Fridays or Saturdays. They only want to work Mondays through Thursdays. And the other part is I understand, where is it here? The box office people for the PAC are only getting $11. So now are we going to have a problem getting ticket sellers for the PAC? Because now everybody's going to go down and want to be a ticket seller for athletics because they're going to get $2 more an hour. So those are my concerns. We moved those other people up because those jobs were much harder. And if you ever went down and watched the person who runs the scoreboard, the clock, that is a tremendous job. You've got to know which way the arrow has to point after the jump ball. You've got to stop the clock, hit the buzzer, all these other things. And she was offered by another school $30 an hour to go to their school to run the thing. And I told her, go. You're never going to get $30 here. But I'm sorry, I just think that if we wanted to separate those jobs in August, I don't know why we've changed in December. And I understand you all think we can't get ticket sellers. We can, it's just that they don't want to work when we need them to work. And that's my comment.
Any other comments from anybody? I looked at these, and I'll say I've been to enough school events. I think everybody is equally important, and I think all of the jobs are required. I get maybe, there's more intensity maybe watching the clock or the announcer, but the people that take the money at the door and help get the public in a very timely manner when maybe somebody's phone's not working right or they're having trouble, whatever the case is, I think all of these people are equally important. So that's my opinion. Anything else from anybody? Joe, Becky, Amy?
I'm just looking at the performing arts. The question is, in the middle school, why are they all at 11? Why are we not at 13 with them as well?
The middle school, the attendance at their event and the amount of money as well as individuals that are being managed entering the event is very small compared to what's seen at the high school level. The PAC operates on its own budget, and its rates are determined within the budget that the PAC can handle. A lot of their budget is generated through outside funds and outside events. So trying to balance what they're doing with their budget and maintaining the PAC as well as paying those positions is what went into the decision for those rates.
Anything else?
No, I think that is helpful to know about the PAC. I don't think a lot of people understand that they're a self-sufficient part of the district. Thank you.
So, does that mean that we pay their salary even though they're self-sufficient?
We do pay their salary. The salary in the PAC is actually a split position between ourselves and the city. We pay the salary portion, the city pays the benefits, and then the individual that oversees that programming in the PAC actually serves both the school district and the city. The short answer is yes, though, and I'm going to use John Leatherman at Evolve as an example. They're another program within the district at Evolve that's self-sufficient and operates off of its own budget. A lot of that is due to tuition from students enrolling in Evolve. We do pay the necessary costs to have somebody like John there running that program, though.
Anything else from anybody? Hearing none, Mr. Chambers, when you're ready, please.
Ms. Parkhurst.
Aye.
Mr. Nichols.
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard.
No.
Ms. Smoyer.
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
Last item is adjournment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Joe?
Sure. I'll second.
All right. Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Mr. Nichols.
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer.
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening and happy holidays.